You don't know what it was like. You don't know what it's like to almost die out here. You haven't almost given your life to the streets, as you would say. So you need to stop. Let's move this guy out of the way. So speaking of dirt bikes, if you guys have been dying for dirt bike content, WR250 content, dual sport, supermoto stuff, I want you guys to go check out my friend Goon Rides. Link in the description below. So guys, welcome to Topic Tuesday. Welcome as always to the best topic moto vlog on the YouTubes. That's a little bit cocky. I don't know for the best topic videos on YouTube, but I sure do try hard. Right here. I try not to react like that, but when you cut off a motorcyclist and make my heart skip a beat, woo, man, you got me. It's actually very poignant for the topic today. The topic of today's video is motorcycle PTSD. I broached this topic a couple times in the past, and today what I want to do is I want to do a video response to CycleCruza's video about motorcycle PTSD that he released sometime about a week ago. CycleCruza, I have so much respect for you. I will never dog you as a person, as a rider, as a moto vlogger. I have so much respect for you, dude, because you are an OG. You are an OG as far as I'm concerned. You are up there with like M13 and all the other like first gen moto vloggers as far as I'm concerned. You've been around long enough, I think that we can all consider you an OG. But I'll be honest with you, my man, I don't agree with almost anything that you say. Most of the time, I can see where you're coming from. Most of the time, I'm like, yeah, I get why you said that. You know, my experience differed a little bit. But honestly, I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that you say. And that's not me saying that I don't respect you as a person, because that's not the case. You made a video about motorcycle PTSD. And then you admit in that video that you've never really been in an accident. You said that you wrecked on a Chinese scooter. I've seen you kind of fall off a WR250 a couple of times on your channel and stuff. But it doesn't seem like you've ever had a serious wreck. Like, it doesn't seem like your life was ever in jeopardy because of your riding. And to make a video about motorcycle PTSD without ever experiencing that, I think is disingenuous. I really do. I think it's almost like the same thing where females say that you shouldn't have a comment on abortion if you don't have a vagina and a womb. You should have some experience about a topic that you're trying to talk about. You shouldn't be offering advice on how to combat motorcycle PTSD without ever having to experience motorcycle PTSD. You guys have been following the channel, that you guys would know that I've been in 2 very serious motorcycle wrecks. Luckily enough, I've escaped without any major injuries so far, as long as you don't count a shattered thumb and lack of feeling in the entire right side of my right leg as, you know, minor injuries, you know. But I've escaped mostly unharmed. You guys don't follow this channel and you're new, welcome. But my 2 wrecks, the first one, not a single fucking person could have avoided it. I was on a 4-lane road with a center turning lane, and I was in the leftmost lane, right here, right next to the turning lane. I had the maximum field of view. Everybody had the maximum field of view for me, so it was just about the safest spot that you could be on a bike. When a guy over on this side of the road decided to make a left out of a right turn only, I hit his front corner panel so hard that it cracked the engine block of my CBR 600RR, which had less than 600 miles on it, and it was about 8 days old. So I was less than thrilled about the experience, but I broke my right thumb in 11 places, and now it feels like a piece of wood. And if you guys know anything about thumbs, 70% of the function of your hand is based around the use of your thumb. Dominant hand is almost useless because of it. Where my right leg, that leg, contacted his car, the whole right side of like my knee down, I can't feel anymore. It almost feels like tingling, like when you sit on your foot or something like that, and it starts tingling. Or for you weirdos, when you sit on your left hand and do the stranger, you know, that's what it feels like anytime I touch my right leg below the knee. Not that big of a deal. I mean, how much feeling do you really need on the right side of your leg? I mean, it's not that much, right? It just, I smacked it so fucking hard, I must have done nerve damage or something. And that's what I got out of that one. A single thing a rider could have done to avoid that. That was just a bad situation. If I would have left my house 10 seconds earlier, I would have avoided it and never been in a wreck with that bike. Second wreck, I could have totally avoided. It was 100% my fault. I was riding after a 24-hour shift. I was not lucid. I shouldn't have been riding. I probably had the mental capacity of a drunk person because I was so tired, and I ended up not seeing that somebody had stopped at a green light, fucking idiots, and I went like that, and then about an 11 o'clock angle with my rear wheel way off the ground, I was like, fuck this, Took 2 huge Beavis and Butthead Do America steps off of my bike, and I slammed into the back of a short bus. The true story, can't make that shit up. Those are the 2 wrecks that I've been in. And since then, I give a ton of space to people. And I also have significant anxiety when I ride. Like, anxiety is so bad that I've contemplated not riding anymore. And that's what happens after you almost die. It's called PTSD, and I have it. It's not diagnosed by a doctor. You don't need a doctor to diagnose that shit. I have PTSD because I almost died a couple of times out here on the streets, okay? Don't be sitting here saying, I got my ears to the street, okay? Without actually fucking almost giving your life to the fucking street, okay? Don't fucking be doing that, okay? It's annoying. It's annoying to us people that have wrecked and have almost died doing our hobby, okay? All it would have taken on that second wreck is for somebody behind me to be paying about as much attention as a normal person, and I would have been sandwiched between that bus and their car, and I'd probably be paralyzed or I would have died, okay? All it would have taken on my first wreck was somebody to be in that turning lane, and I was smashed into them at 40 miles an hour, or been run over, and I would be dead. I've been unlucky, but I've also been incredibly lucky at the same point. It's changed me as a person, okay? If you ever see me go way wide around a car that's turning, it's because of my first wreck. If you ever see me giving way a lot of room, because of my second wreck, okay? And that's just the way things are now. I still love riding. I still love doing this. Even though I contemplated giving it up, there will be nothing that ever changes that. I'll always love riding. I might not always be a rider, but I'll always love motorcycles, and I'll always remember this time that I had with these beautiful machines. But PTSD is probably going to take that away from me eventually. I'm probably going to quit riding one day, and it's probably going to be contributed to my PTSD from my 2 wrecks. Hopefully it stays at 2 wrecks. I hope I don't have another one. I hate to be this 2019 person. At CycleCruza, you need to have a little bit of sensitivity out there for us people out here that have wrecks when you're talking about that shit. Because that's kind of annoying. That's kind of like somebody using the N-word without an N-word pass. You just shouldn't be talking about it in that perspective. Maybe next time you can interview somebody like me that's gone through it, and I can tell you my personal experiences. Maybe next time you can actually talk about the prospect of developing it. No, do not give advice about how to beat it. Like, you can't give advice about that. You know, it's something that's going to be chronic. PTSD is chronic. You don't get rid of it. You might learn to deal with it. You might learn to lessen it, but you're not gonna keep somebody from experiencing it anymore. It's not gonna happen. Like I said a million times, I have mad respect for you, but you don't know what you're talking about when it comes down to this. You don't know what it was like. You don't know what it's like to almost die out here. You haven't almost given your life to the streets, as you would say, so you need to stop. Said, I still love doing this. I still love this fucking shit. I still love riding. I still love going fast. I love every part of this, even though I've almost died a couple of times. I want to sit here and I don't want to quote the entire video, because honestly there'll always be somebody that'll call out some minor indiscretion that I had about quoting the video, and I want to keep these comments very positive because you guys are awesome. You guys always remind me to stay positive on shit. Why are we braking at a green light? See, this is the shit that you got to watch out for. People braking at a green light for no reason. I'm just kind of pointing out the specific things that kind of irked me, okay? So, one of the things that actually irked me probably almost the most is you diverting the blame onto the riders. You don't understand, okay? You really don't understand this. To be honest with you, yes, there are times where a rider could have avoided something. But yes, there are times where there's absolutely nothing you can do, okay? Somebody breaks the traffic law and turns left out of a right turn only and then fucking hits you. There's nothing you can do about that. First wreck, I didn't even have time to grab a clutch. Let me reiterate that. I didn't even have time to grab the clutch. The bike was still in gear when I wrecked. You could see a line from my Converse that I was wearing at the time. There was literally a white line that went all the way up my black bike. I was just trying desperately to hold on to the bike and not be chucked off. That happened, okay? That did happen. State trooper, be cool. State trooper, be cool. Like, honestly, like, there are some times where, yeah, I mean, you could put the blame on the rider, and then there's sometimes where it's just shit bad luck. And trying to put blame on people when it comes down to riding is horse shit. It really is. Unless you're in that situation, unless you are literally in that situation, you have no room to talk. Unless you're put in the situation that that rider is put in, you don't know how you are going to react when something happens that requires an absolute millisecond response. Diverting blame is something that we do to try to rationalize our decisions to be a motorcycle rider and try to make it appear to ourselves like it's not as dangerous activity as it actually is. CycleCruza basically made an excuse like, well, it's on the rider because this happened. There are some things that are out of our control. You can't blame the rider for every wreck. I see a lot of riders out here that will say, I won't wreck. I'm a good rider. I pay attention, okay? When somebody breaks the law, turns left out of a right turn only, at the perfect exact moment that you're passing them and you have no time to react, there's nothing you can do about that. I'm going to use one of CycleCruza's terms real quick, okay? CycleCruza thinks that if you keep everything tame and you're not out here being a street Rossi, then you're not going to have a wreck. And that is not entirely true. Somebody can wreck over here, cross this median, and smack me right as I go down this road right now, and that's just bad luck. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's nothing that you can do about that. There's nothing you can do about that at all, and you're just gonna, like I've been saying, sometimes you just gotta eat what happens, you know? Bad shit just happens sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta deal with it, you know? You just gotta deal with it, and there's nothing you can do about it. Bad luck has happened to me. I've been a victim of bad luck. I've also been a victim of poor decision making on my part. So I will say that CycleCruza is partly right there. And you can blame the rider, and you can divert some of the blame to a rider, and it's not always on the cagers, and it's not always somebody else's fault. But at the same point, sometimes it's just bad luck and there's nothing you can do about it. Talk about anxiety. Right now, I'm having severe anxiety just waiting for people to cut over into this lane, waiting for these cars to not pay attention and hit me. Like, this is the reality about motorcycle PTSD. Motorcycle PTSD will ruin your hobby. It will. I used to be a carefree rider. I really did. I used to be a very carefree rider. I didn't care. Cruise along, and I wouldn't worry about people turning out in front of me. It was really, I was an easy rider. Like, I never even thought in the world ever being in a wreck. I never thought it would happen to me. And then it fucking happened. That's what having a wreck will do to you. It'll take your hobby from being this carefree, you know, stress relieving hobby to a lot of times causing stress. Like right now, I'm constantly scanning back and forth, constantly scanning every single thing that could possibly try to kill me. It's not easy going anymore, guys. This isn't me just relaxing and just enjoying my life anymore. Like, I am actively trying to avoid dying right now. Every single second of my ride, I'm actively trying to avoid dying. If I would have acted like this before a couple of my wrecks, and if I would have taken some personal responsibility to scan the way that I do now and whatnot, I might have avoided a wreck or two. The fact of the matter that we all have to realize is that we could die out here. That's the takeaway from this whole video, is that if you're not careful, you could die out here. And that's something that you need to realize. And there are times when you're not going to be able to avoid it. Your life is in other people's hands. Your life is in other people's driving prowesses, okay? That's really what it comes down to. But you can do certain things to try to avoid a lot of it, okay? There are things that you can do to avoid it, though. You could ride safe. You don't have to ride like a dickhole everywhere. Give people plenty of room, okay? Try to avoid heavily populated and driven areas. You don't have to always be in race mode, even though some people would vehemently disagree with me. You don't always have to be in race mode. Alright guys, thank you for watching this. It's kind of a bitch fest, but I had to make the video because what CycleCruza said just irked me so much. I had to make it. When it comes down to it, please ride safe. Please get home at the end of every ride. I want you guys to be as safe as possible out here. I want you guys to avoid ever having to deal with a wreck. It sucks, guys. Thank you for watching. Please make sure to hit the like button down below. Hit subscribe. Don't forget to check out Goon Rides. He's a great guy, chill as shit. He's a great guy, real chill. You guys will like his content. Anyway, thanks for watching. Deuces.